I don't know what it's like in your part of the world, but the insanity continues. Let me give you a little bit of info on some of the things that are happening out there. Stick with me, folks. Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and lots of stuff happening as a result of the illness that shall not be named. So here we go. I wanted to point this out to you. This actually has nothing to do with it, but I do this so the first 30 seconds or so, or whatever, the first part of the video is okay. And just don't want to have it flagged for any reason. But anyway, I wanted to show you this because those of you who follow the 17th letter of the alphabet might be interested to see this, because it started out with the National Guard tweet that says, today more than 1,560 Guard members in 22 states are on duty. National Guard members continue to assist state and local authorities responding to the illness that shall not be named. Always ready, always there. Now, Indiana is one of those. I just saw the declaration of that today. But see this 22 here? 22 states. Look at post number 22. Yeah, it talks about what? National Guard. So interesting. Just thought I'd show that connection to you. When they have these numbers like this, it's always good to look at them carefully, because a lot of times I think they refer to such things. And I think there's a significant thing about having the National Guard being called up in all these various places. So just keep that in mind, put it in the back of your knowledge base here, and maybe read over number 22 a couple times, and where I think we're going to find some things out. I wanted to show you this because for those of you who might not know, the HHS got hacked. Well, it was a denial of service, a DDoS attack. And, this is something that Barr is not real happy about. And so here's his statement. When you're dealing with something like a denial of service attack on HHS during a pandemic, that's a very grave action for another country to take. AG Barr said, if it is another country doing this, I'm sure the ramifications will be severe. So if you want to read that, here's the article on it from the AP News. And they're looking into it. So they're trying to find out who was responsible for this DDoS attack. So anyway, this is another one that I wanted to point out to you because I think it's a stupid question. What's the point of these pressers? Honest question. Do you really think this is an honest question from her? Do you really think Joy Reid is saying, gee, I just don't know why you'd have all these pressers? Yeah. Why would we want the American people informed of what's really happening in our world instead of them listening to the lying media? And I just read another article today that was like contradicting something Trump said, and it's like, no, that's not true. They were saying, that what Trump said was a lie. It's not. It's not a lie. He's telling the truth. They just don't want to admit that it is. So anyway, yeah, I thought this was an interesting one. It's like, what's the point? Well, if you go down here, people are like not letting her get away with it. So I think she put it so that all of her little liberal friends would be, well, he's just awful, and start smacking down the president. And that's not what happened. So here's something you might not have thought of. Guess what? The illness that shall not be named, travel ban, prevents ultra wealthy from leaving on private jets. Yeah, they can't get out of the country. Is that interesting or what? I think it's significant. But yeah, they've been trying to buy these different private jet companies. They've been trying to offer them big amounts of money to take them places. They won't take them because of the travel ban. So, it seems they're pretty locked down. That might be a really good time to bring in the law enforcement that may be necessary for some of them. I just thought that was interesting. And by the way, the researchers on the board are really diligently scouring those pictures and the tweets that Tom Hanks has been putting up. because they're trying to figure out exactly where he is. He says that he was home or something like that, and they're not falling for that. They think differently from the pictures and everything. So now this next one is going to probably upset your stomach, so I hope you're not eating anything on this one. Yeah, here we go. This is a new trend, believe it or not. And I can't believe that they're doing this type of challenge. Licking public toilet seats. Seriously. This is the challenge. Oh my gosh. It just made me sick to even see the pictures. I'm sorry. I can't look at them. They're horrible. I cannot believe somebody would do that. A part of me, I'm like torn on this, because a part of me is saying, if they're so stupid they're going to do this, because not just the illness that shall not be named, but all the other illnesses that could be there. Oh, ew. I got to go on. I'm sorry. Oh, but I needed to share that with you because, holy cow, that's worse than the Tide Pods. Oh, I really, I worked with teenagers. The teenagers I worked with, I don't think they would have been that stupid. But evidently there are some who are doing it because it's a hashtag and kids are getting involved in it. And it's like, really? Wow. Okay, going on. Speaking of stupid things, this is another stupid thing. The Washington Police Department asked criminals to cease criminal behavior until the illness that shall not be named ends. Do you believe it? Yeah, okay, criminals, let's just not do any crime. Now you be good, boys and girls, until all this is over. I'm serious. Come on. Oh. It has to be Washington. And there, I don't think that's Washington, D.C. I think it's Washington State. Yeah, Washington State. Yeah. And so they're asking them to stop. Oh my gosh. Really? Oh, I know. So there are a faction of people who come to my videos and they don't like me laughing. But you know what, folks? I'm serious. You can't read stuff like this and not laugh at the stupidity of it. And that there are people who are in the police department who think that this is a good idea and it's going to work. I mean, do you not see how obviously ridiculous that is? Well, if you don't, probably my videos aren't the kind of videos you're going to see. And here's another one. This one came out today. Yeah, Philly police to stop making arrests. Folks, I understand. I understand what's going on. Believe me, I know. I know it's dangerous, but I just can't believe that police would say, well, that's it. We're just not going to make any arrests. Do you really think that's going to be a deterrent for these people? Do you think the criminals are going to sit there and go, gee, the police asked us not to do that. They're not going to arrest us. So I guess I'm just going to wait for my crime until after they start arresting people again. Oh my goodness. So pray for the people in Philly because, oh man, Philadelphia, what's going on? I hope you're safe. But anyway, so then we're going to go on to this guy. Well, you may recognize this guy. This is the guy who had just recently visited Trump at the White House. This is the Prime Minister of Ireland. And if you go down here, during his broadcast, he said, this is the calm before the storm, and the surge will come. Huh. Gee. I'm just going to leave that there. Those of you who know anything about the 17th letter of the alphabet, you understand the significance of that comment because we have Trump saying that, the calm before the storm. So, were they discussing something in particular? I don't know. This is an interesting one as a teacher. I found this one interesting. So guess what? Kids probably aren't going to go back to school in California after spring break. So they're probably done for the year, won't be back until September. Well, whenever they start. We start in August around here, but I don't know when California starts. So, yeah, is that interesting? I don't know how well that's going to work. Times have changed, and now they're just going to say, forget it, you don't need that education. So, I don't know. It looks to me like they're not even worried about doing e-learning or anything like that. I do understand, but the whole thing about learning things is that you need to have it on a regular basis, because if you don't, you forget stuff. And I can tell you, over the summer, kids actually do forget things because they haven't used them in their daily life. And so I think they're going to be setting themselves back. I don't know what it's going to be like, but it's California, so maybe they're actually going to be better off because they won't be indoctrinated in their schools for a couple more months. So anyway, I'll leave the link down below if you want to read the whole thing. This one I thought was interesting. Patent troll sues to pull these tests off market over alleged infringement. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that's going to make you very popular at this time, because yeah, everybody wants to have these tests caught up in some kind of litigation. The patents are getting out of control, especially biological patents. If you don't know anything that's going on, there's a lot. Well, anyway, this Labrador Diagnostics is who's doing it, and they're linked to Fortress, and there's just the Fortress Investment Group. There's a lot to this, and it's just, yeah, the lawsuit down here. I think this is probably one of the best things. They're seeking an injunction to stop the sale of these tests. And it's like, right now, we do not need to stop those tests from anything. And anybody who's trying to do that is pretty much anti-human. So injunctions are rarely granted in patent cases, and I don't expect one to be granted here. But moments like this demonstrate with stunning clarity exactly how greedy and fundamentally short-sighted companies can be. At some point in this discussion, possibly between the "can we sell the families of this illness fatalities into slavery" segment and the next IPO pitch, water, a luxury humans will die to pay for, someone ought to have pointed out the not insubstantial risk of being completely and utterly evil at a time when people are panicked and very few Americans, including sick Americans, have been able to be tested. So, I don't know. They go on. This person doesn't mince any words. But then again, another article on the site is this one that I was reading. The misinformation about the illness coming from the White House must cease. And that was the one that's like, that's been debunked, what you're saying. Because they were claiming that Google was not doing anything. And it's like, yeah, well, we know that's not true. So, the next one I wanted to show you was kind of interesting. At least I found it interesting, is that people with blood type A might be more susceptible to it than some of the others. So I don't know, whatever blood type you are, if you're type A, well, you might want to take extra precautions, for you. But it said those with type O blood could be more resistant. So, but this is according to a preliminary study from China. So who knows if that's true or not. I don't know what we can trust out of China these days. But I thought this might be something that you'd be interested to know, whatever blood type you are. And then I wanted to show you this, because the last video I did was about this bill. And it's called the Earn It Act. And this article is about it. 1984 style bill being rushed through Congress, and the you-know-whats on both sides of the aisle are working together. Yes, this is the type of thing that's a little piece of land in the middle of an ocean. It's not the aisle where you have Republicans on one side and Democrats on the other. But yeah, and so I appreciate what the person's trying to say, but they're misreading the whole thing. They haven't read it. And when I went through to read the bill, It does not say anything about the government coming in and reading things. You know, the encryption question, it was brought up in the hearing several times. It is not part of the bill. There is nothing in this bill that says the government is allowed to go into these companies and to get information from them without any kind of warrant or anything like they would have to have for some kind of criminal case. And when they go in with a warrant, it has to be specific. I mean, they can't just go in and say, give me all of your data and we'll sort through it. No, they can't do that. So this type of thing right here, this is not a correct statement. This is misinformation. Okay. I don't think this person is doing it on purpose. I think they honestly believe that that's what the bill says and that's what the bill is going to do. But there is no way in its current form that it can do that. However, I'm not saying that that couldn't be added in, because it starts in the Senate, then it's going to go over to the House, and who knows what the loonies over at the House are going to do to it. So I assume it's not going to look the same when the House votes on it. And then it'll have to go back to the Senate to make sure that it's, voted on again. So I honestly don't know if it's going to stay in its current wording that it has. However, if it is bipartisan, it has a better chance of the people in the House not changing it. But then again, I don't trust them for anything. So, see, this is what I'm saying. They said it's going to allow the government to review every and any private electronic message. That's not true. Okay, that it take away your rights for end-to-end encryption and install a backdoor on any encryption service. It has nothing to do with that. All it has to do is with saying these particular tech companies that are really using this Section 230 immunity from being prosecuted and getting in lawsuits, they're going to have to step up to the plate. If they want to keep that 230 immunity, they're going to have to actually make sure that they're taking adequate steps to try to remove any of the child exploitation from their site. So that is significant. And that's what it's trying to do. It really does not do anything like this. Now, they are talking about, there was some discussion about removing the whole Section 230, but that's not part of this bill. It may adapt part of that to make it so that these companies do have to show that they are actually actively trying to stop this kind of stuff. But if they don't, then they can have that stripped from them. But it's possible that the whole thing could be too. Again, that's not what it's about. And so I caution you, there are a lot of good-hearted patriots out there who are trying their best to interpret what they're seeing in their own views. And, I'm one of them. Sometimes we get it wrong, and you just have to be really careful. And on this one, as I said, right now, in its current version, this is not true. It may change as it's going through the process, but as of right now, the encryption is not at all part of it. And they made it very clear in that hearing that that was not going to be part of it. All right, I wanted to just show you this because this was President Trump's tweet today when I'm recording this on the 17th. And he said, "The world is at war with a hidden enemy. We will win." So if you're a follower of the 17th letter of the alphabet, you might want to put in the search for "we will win." I think it only appears in one message. And so I just think that it's significant that he worded it this way. The world is at war with a hidden enemy. I don't think he's talking about the illness that shall not be named. We will win. So I think that's some encouragement for us that is what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure that's what he wanted to convey to us. So then I'm going to end this with a couple of laughs, and I'm not even going to go through them, but I'll leave the links down below. These are two threads that are the funniest memes, and some of them are really, really good. I mean, some of them are, it's kind of humorous, but some of them are extremely good. Like this one, free 1 carat diamond ring. And the toilet paper ones are just hysterical. And why don't we have any food? Some of them really good. Back in my day, there was so much toilet paper. People used to literally string it up in the trees of their enemies. Oh, and this one, notice the picture here. Democratic Party. It's a rat. I have been hearing rumors that if you Google things nowadays, you're getting a lot better, fairer results. So I haven't tried it out, but you might want to try it and see. So, yeah, stop touching your face. Oh, so there's a lot. These are pretty good to go through. Some of them are a little R-rated, but most of them are pretty funny. And this is another one because you just sometimes need a laugh. Just need a laugh. So, yeah, that would be interesting. So it's just, you can go through, you can read them. Yeah. So, you can read through, find out what, silly. Some of them are just crazy. But again, that's the whole point of the memes. They're funny. They're a way to convey things. And you know what? The world needs more memes, right? Just does. So anyway, I wanted to point all those out to you. But I also want to remind you, I talked in the last video real quick. I don't mention this very much, but the type of food that I sell is freeze-dried food. And it lasts for 25 years in the can, so it's really good. And it tastes very good. I actually use it all the time. But they're having real trouble keeping it in stock, folks. So if you go to this page, and I'll put the link to this down below, you can see how much they're out of stock of different stuff. So, yeah. And it is a little expensive. I'm not going to lie to you on that. I know it is. But part of the thing is when you're dealing with freeze-dried, the process is definitely more expensive and more extensive than if you're doing regular dried foods, but it maintains the nutrition much, much better. In fact, your foods, when you get them, when they're freeze-dried like this from fresh, they end up being just as nutritious as fresh. They do retain their nutrition. And when you're doing regular dried foods, I have a food dryer, dehydrator, and when you do it that way, it ends up taking some of the nutrients out. You do lose them, but you don't with these. And really, some of these, when you taste them, they taste just like fresh. I mean, but it's kind of nice because the apples are very, very crisp and crunchy. And like bananas, you're used to banana chips. Well, those are the dehydrated ones, the dried banana chips. These are more freeze-dried, so they're crispy and light when you bite into the banana chips. But as I said, so much of this is out of stock. You just have to go through this picker and see if there's stuff there that you want. You won't be able to order it unless it is in stock. And then it's probably going to be a while before you get it. So unfortunately, this is not going to be something you can order and get it tomorrow. It is going to take a little while because they are just swamped. But they're doing their best to get it all taken care of and fill all the orders. So just be patient, okay? And if you want to know more about this, I have some videos on my other channel, the Garden Devotions channel. So I show you how I make meals and different things like that out of it. They have this new thing that's, it's like powdered fruits and vegetables. And it's in this pack here. And you just add water to it and shake it up. And you've got a nutritious meal right there. They're like, each one of them is a total of 4 servings of fruits and vegetables. I mean, a combination like 2.5 of one and 1.5 of the other or something, but they all add up to 4 total servings. So kind of nice. And, very healthy, good thing to have. Those are in stock, so you can get those. But again, I understand, and I'm not pushing anybody to buy this, believe me. I just want to put it out there because it's very handy. In a situation like this, I'm not worried because I've got plenty of cans of food and I can have just about anything. I mean, they have meats and they have vegetables and fruits, and they even have grains in case you want to stock up, like for an apocalypse of some kind. Worse than this, right? But for now, if you want to get some, you're welcome to order it. The link will be down below, and you just have to make sure that up here it says Garden Devotions is your consultant, because that's me, okay? And that's how, as long as it says that, you'll have to sign up for an account, and when you do, every time you log in, it'll put that up there. Hopefully, it will. So, there. Anyway, you can shop, you can, there are ways to even get a referral code, and when you get the referral code, anybody who buys from that will actually give you credit, so you'll be able to use that to buy more food, which is always good. So anyway, again, the information's on my other site. Things have changed a little bit since I did those videos, the way the site works, and so I need to do an update on it. I just haven't had time. That's what I've got for you on this one. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see y'all later.